Hi, my name is CJ. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to talk to you about assistive technology and how it can assist people with completing classroom jobs and how that might translate to the workplace. First, a little bit about me. I'm a retired special education teacher. I dedicated the last 27 years of my life to special education. The first 12 years were as a paraeducator in various elementary programs, and the last 15 as a teacher in a post-secondary program. In both capacities, all the students had moderate to severe disabilities. So why does assistive technology matter in the workplace? Over the years, most of my students were nonverbal and also wheelchair users. It was always a challenge to find things they could do independently. I feel like most people want to feel useful. They want to contribute to the success of their workplace. Maybe they have something to add in a conversation. Maybe they have an idea about a project. We all want to be part of something. Our work gives us purpose. We feel a sense of accomplishment when we complete a task successfully. Assistive technology helps differently abled people be part of the conversation, part of the project, part of the solution. Assistive technology helps people become more independent and builds self-confidence. This first piece of assistive technology is the PowerLink 4. Here is a video on how it works.
Hello, today we're going to talk about the PowerLink 4. PowerLink 4 is a reliable, affordable, easy to set up and use environmental control unit that provides switch-accessible control for up to 2 electrical devices. It also offers 6 unique modes of control so you can define exactly how and for how long electrical appliances will be turned on. PowerLink 4 is switch accessible and will accept almost any single wired switch as well as the AbleNet Wireless Mini Beamer, Jelly Beamer, or Big Beamer switches. PowerLink 4 is available in 4 international versions: North America, United Kingdom, Continental Europe, and Australia. To set up the PowerLink 4 with a wireless switch, turn both the PowerLink 4 and wireless switch on. On the side of the PowerLink 4 that you wish to pair the wireless switch with, hold the status button down for 6 to 10 seconds until the light turns solid green. Activate the wireless switch. The light will blink red, then green, confirming that it is paired. Then press the status button to exit linking mode. If you wish to use a wired switch, simply plug the switch into the jack on the right or left side. The PowerLink 4 has 6 modes of appliance control. Pressing the mode button repeatedly will cycle through the modes of control. Direct mode keeps the appliance on only while the switch is activated. Once released, the appliance will turn off. Latch mode allows for one activation of a switch to turn the corresponding appliance on. The second activation turns it off. Use the latch mode when you want an appliance, such as a lamp, to remain on indefinitely. The timed seconds mode allows the appliance to run for a preset amount of time from 1 to 99 seconds with a single activation. Press the plus or minus button on the interface to adjust the time in between activations. The timed minutes mode allows the appliance to run for a preset amount of time from 1 to 99 minutes with a single activation. 2-switch mode requires 2 simultaneous switch activations to turn the appliance on. When activated, all attached appliances will activate in direct mode. Count mode behaves like direct mode, showing the number of activations on the display counter. Once you are familiar with the PowerLink 4, you will be able to change and manage modes with ease. But just in case, we have instructions included on the back for quick reference. To learn more about the PowerLink 4 from AbleNet or our entire line of products, visit us at www.ablenetinc.com.
Alright, so some workplace applications. Maybe the person comes in and turns on the coffee machine or the paper shredder. Maybe they turn on the copy machine, collect the recycling and crush the cans. If they work in a kitchen, they can operate an electric can opener, a blender. Any small appliance can be used with this device. In these photos, these young men are working together to crush the cans. The non-disabled person, behind the guy on the left, makes sure the crusher is in the off position so he doesn't get his fingers crushed. He then places the can in the crusher. The machine is turned to the on position, then the young man on the right presses the switch and crushes the can. The non-disabled person operates the red toggle on the crusher since the plunger doesn't automatically reset after crushing. The next AT is the pouring cups. As you can see, there are two versions of this. The one on the left is very versatile. It has a clamp that can be placed on a wheelchair support bar or the edge of the table. The gooseneck can be adjusted for height and position. The other one is limited to sitting on a flat surface. Both have a 1-cup measuring cup with Velcro. Here is a video on how it works.
Hi, Vinny Lavordi here, Tech Support Enabling Devices. Today I'd like to talk to you about one of our products, number 24, pouring cup on a flex mount. So let's get started. Pouring cup on a flex mount takes 4 AA alkaline batteries, and the battery compartment's right here on the back. There's a small Phillips head screw I've already removed. Just take that out and pop off the cover. You put your 4 AA batteries in here. Slide the cover back on. Put your screw in. Okay, ready to go. First thing you want to do before you mount this, it has our super clamp here on the bottom, is you want to put your pouring cup on and your mounting plate. And the way I do this is I always put my plate on first, because you don't want to, if you put the cup on the plate and then mount it, you'll wind up cracking the cup. So what you do is you put the plate on first. There's a hole in the back of the mounting plate, and you'll push it down on this metal shaft. Push it all the way on. Don't be afraid to press. It takes a little bit of effort, and give yourself about an 1/8 inch of space between that and the base. Once you have that on, now you can secure your cup. Now what I always also recommend is when you're putting the cup on, what you don't want to do is you don't want to put the cup on, it's held with Velcro. You don't want to push the cup here, because what's going to happen is if you exert a lot of force, you are going to crack this cup. So the best way to put these cups on is line up the Velcro, and then inside here, I'm going to show you, angle it this way so you can see. I usually use my finger or my thumb and basically press this down from the inside. So this way it's on secure and you don't crack the cup. Once your cup's on, now you can put your gooseneck and mount it. This has our new super clamp on there, and this is great for wheelchairs, any type of rails. When you're using it on a flat surface like we're doing here, we're going to add our insert into the bottom of the clamp, which will give you a flat surface for mounting on tabletops. There's also another mounting option to turn the super clamp horizontally, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So you also want to make sure on the back there's a locking pin. You want to make sure that's tightened all the way so that the gooseneck doesn't wobble. Once I have this set up, I can bend my arm in any direction or any position I need. Now it takes 2 switches, one to move the cup clockwise and another switch for counterclockwise. On the back here, there's a small knob which adjusts the speed control. You can make it slower or faster. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually get a bowl and some water. I'm going to show you how this actually works as a pouring cup. Okay, what I've done now is I've positioned my arm where I need it to be. I have my bowl here, and I'm going to put some water in there, but I just want to key in, again, 2 switches, make sure they're plugged in all the way in the back here in the jacks. And one other thing I really want to stress out, a really important thing, is that when you put this plate on, as I showed you earlier, you definitely want to make sure it's pushed in all the way. Don't be afraid to push it in, and just give yourself about an 1/8 inch gap. A lot of times we get calls to customers that the mounting plate's not staying on, the cup's falling off. That's because they're not pushing it on all the way. It's not going to come off if you mount it the way I showed you earlier in the video. So really important, because you don't want to make a mess with whatever you're working with. So I'm just going to pour some water in here. Okay, and now I'm going to use my switch and just put this under a little better. And that's it. Very simple. It works really well. This way anybody can participate in maybe a home economics class or a cooking class or any other activity that you would need to pour mortar or some type of mixture. When you're all done and you want to remove the cup, one other suggestion I like to mention is that when you're taking the pouring cup actually off the base, I usually just give it a little wiggle, and this way it makes it a lot easier to take it off. If this got dirty, you can also pull this off and wash it. If it's clean, you just need to wash the cup. The next thing I'm going to show you is how you can mount the clamp horizontally on the.
All right, so some workplace applications for the pouring cups. Refilling the water reservoir on a coffee machine, refilling paint bottles in an art studio, filling animal water bowls in an animal shelter or a vet, pouring pancake mix onto a griddle in a kitchen, or pouring orange juice for a customer. Pouring any material is possible as long as the gooseneck can support the weight of it. A former student used to pour his own food into his feeding tube at lunch. The guy on the left is using the device to pour acrylic paint onto a canvas, and the guy on the right is pouring sugar into a pitcher to make a drink. This next device is the adapted garden sprayer. I'm going to show you a video I found on YouTube of a young lady using the device at home. Here's a video I found on YouTube of a young lady watering the plants in her home. Everyone wants to contribute. This is one way that she can do that.
Alright, we started. And Christina is going to help water the plants. We have her adapted garden sprayer. I'll use the wand since we're in the house. She has a wireless switch. We're hooked up here with the slot receiver. And alright, and it is on direct. So I'm ready when you are, Chris. Oh, did I forget to turn it on? Yes. Here we go, go for it. Okay, that's good. Go to the next one, ready when you are. There we go. Okay, ready? You're doing very well.
Some workplace applications may be at a nursery watering the potted plants or a small garden, a business with potted plants in the lobby or at employees' desks. We took our sprayer to a local park and rec center and watered the plants in the lobby and on the counter. The sprayer only holds about 1.5 to 2 gallons of water, so it may need to be refilled frequently. These students are watering the flowers in the raised garden that was made for us. The young man on the left likes to hold the wand. We put the switch between his leg and the lateral of his wheelchair. He uses his leg to activate the switch while holding the wand to water the plants. The young man on the right is using the gooseneck to hold the wand and his hand to press the switch. Alright, so here are a few of the switches my students have used over the years. The cushion grip has foam wrapped around a small switch which is activated when the person grips the foam. The textured switch plates that were in some of the pictures, they provide tactile input for the user. The movement sensor switch has a sensor at the end of the black tube. The black tube is flexible and can be pointed at the body part that they can move. The sensor picks up the movement and activates the switch. The grip and puff switch is a tube that when squeezed moves air through the smaller tube to activate the switch. This has different sized tube grips that fit the hand strength of the user. The bigger the tube, the easier it is to squeeze. The pinch switch just needs a light pinch to activate. It can also be bent over slightly to activate. The jumbo switches are great starting switches for all-around use. They provide a very large target for the person to hit. There are so many amazing switches and tools out there. All of this assistive technology will help people in the classroom and in the workplace do jobs they never thought they could do. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and it gives you some ideas on how to incorporate differently abled persons in your employment practice. Thank you.